Hi and good morning, everyone. This is Mrs. Voss, and happy St. Patrick's Day. So here's our first little video lesson. Few little friendly reminders. If I did not see you um, on Thursday or Friday, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you have your workbooks. If for whatever reason you did not get the new Unit 1 stats workbook, then just kind of do the best you can. Hopefully you got some good old-fashioned notebook paper at home. Fortunately, the lessons will be posted in the Google folder. The videos will always be here for you, so you could always reference back to them. And then, if you don't have your workbook, then just do the problems on notebook paper. Okay? So here's our agenda. Honestly, this is just going to be kind of a recap of what we did on Friday. Friday, we focused on different types of studies. There were 3 studies: an experiment, an observational study, and surveys. Right. So this is kind of a continuation of our lesson from Friday. Here's a little warm-up. So while standing in line at an amusement park with a group of friends, you pose the following question: what is the best way to become healthier? And each friend gives you a different response. So in your workbook, hopefully the page number is correct on page 103. We are in section 131. You could kind of go through and answer the questions. Give yourself some time to do that. And then on the next slide, as you could see, here are just a few answers that I kind of came up with. Again, this lesson will also be posted, so feel free to kind of go through it at your own pace. All right, here's what I'd like to accomplish. So let's again talk about what a survey is versus an experiment versus an observational study, and can we kind of classify each and differentiate between them. So if you were here on Friday, you got a bunch of handouts from me. I'm glad we were able to do that. Again, if you were not here on Friday, then you could just kind of take notes on this, or just remember this is here for you to reference back to whenever you want. But you guys should have a little vocab handout. It's probably half a page. And notice it says 131 notes at the top, and you could kind of at your own pace go through and fill in the terms. Okay, so again, this takes us now to example 1. Really what I'd like you to do throughout this lesson is just kind of read through the problem, the little description or blurb that they gave you, and then just go through the questions and answer them the best you can. Honestly, had this been in class, we would have had more of like a class discussion. So now it's more of just an individual think and write. But like the warm-up, I provided you with some ways I would have answered this. So you know what, basically an observational study is where we observe and interact, where we observe and do not interact with the subjects. It's like you're kind of watching from afar. You are the fly on the wall and you're jotting down some notes. So just like the name, it's an observational study. Experiment, you pretend that you are the researcher and you're actively imposing a treatment while assigning this to different groups of, it could be really different groups of subjects. It doesn't necessarily have to be people. Maybe we want to do an experiment on different types of bird seeds. Then our subjects would be the birds that we use. Remember, with experiments, we should really have just one changing variable. And then lastly, a survey. I think you guys are very familiar with surveys. So it could be a survey such as an interview done on, done in person, or it could be a survey conducted online using like Google Forms, or maybe in good old-fashioned paper survey that you hand out to people and you seek their opinion. But ultimately, what I'd like you to get away from this is surveys. We are seeking opinions. All right, so the third part says evaluate the situation described in the problem scenario to determine the purpose and characteristics of the required data. So what we want to establish is which one is going to be the most popular dress-up themes. I'm basically asking students for their favorite, okay? That kind of sounds more like conducting a survey. All right, here's example 2. Once again, read the scenario, and here's how I would answer it. Okay, here's example 3. Read the scenario, and here's how I would answer it. And example 4. So again, if I'm going a little too fast, friendly reminder, feel free to pause the video. And here's how I would have answered example 4. All right, well, this actually takes us to the homework. It's very straightforward. Hopefully the page number is correct, page 109, 1 through 10. Just read the directions. Basically, you're going to go through problems 1 through 10 and determine if it's an observational study, an experiment, or if a survey is going to be the best method. Okay. Remember, this is from your workbook, so answers are in the back of your workbook. Posted some answers for you as to how I would answer it. And lastly, these are the learning targets that I wanted to accomplish in this video lesson. So this concludes our lesson on 131. It is basically a continuation, nice little review of what we tried to do on Friday. On Friday, it was a little bit more interactive. We did a quick little survey, show of hands who would buy coffee from Dunkin' Donuts versus Starbucks, given an incentive, or Pete's Coffee, and we talked about that. We talked about an observational study where I kind of observed what some of the students were doing in class, and I shared out loud the examples. And lastly, we did an experiment with your dominant and non-dominant hand that we made the dots and counted them. So again, thank you for watching and listening. This video is a little bit less than 9 minutes. I'm going to post one more for today, and that kind of brings us up to speed for where we should be today. So again, I hope you all are well. Take care and happy St. Patrick's Day.